CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. All right, we are at Mobius Connect live in Houston. This is the start of Mobius Connect on their international tour. We're with Jordan Maloney. Jordan, say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jordan.
So tell me what your favorite thing is about this tour now that it's started.
Oh, goodness. Honestly, I think my favorite part is getting to meet everybody in person. You know, I get to email you guys all the time, and it's super fun to see everybody get together and really put faces to the names and bond in person. It's so fun.
And why do you find it so rewarding to plan and get these events going?
Why do I find it rewarding? Honestly, it's just really cool to see something that you created for months come to life. It's really neat to see all the pieces come together. You know, even silly stuff like the signage or the program guides. It's fun to just see it all in one place and know that, like, hey, I did this. Like, me and my team, we did this. So it's like something you birthed. Like, it's like fun seeing it come to life.
Absolutely. And so what's next on the tour? So when we're done with Houston, where do you go next? And carry me through that journey.
I will. So up next is Barcelona, Spain. We are very excited because that's going to be the first event that we have an English stream and a Spanish stream. So that's going to be awesome for all parties. After that, we're moving on to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Melbourne, Australia, Hefei, China, Dammam, Saudi Arabia, and we're closing out in Lima, Peru. So we're going to be everywhere. That means you have no excuse not to come because we're coming near you.
Thank you for this awesome moment on CMMS Radio.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Gentlemen, first of all, thank you for joining me here on the stage. I am honored to be here. Mobius Connect, they invited me to run this session for you, and I want to shout out some folks that helped me get here. Number one is Upkeep. I happen to be an Upkeep ambassador. That's a CMMS platform, and they picked up my taxi ride, my airplane ride to get me here, so you'll see them up on the graphic. I also want to shout out Digital Thinker Incorporated. I also want to shout out Uptime Solutions. My boy Matt Knuth is over there with that company for condition monitoring. This isn't about selling anything, but I want to shout them out. And Reliability X. Reliability X is someone in the industry that is a close friend, their colleagues, and I want to make sure that they get a little bit of love as well. So let's just jump right into this. When it comes to the buzzwords, although everybody might think tariffs are the buzzword of the day, what I want to start with is AI. So, artificial intelligence. I kind of like to beat it up a little bit because there's much more to it. It's really machine learning, it's programmatic in nature. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to start with Howard, and then we're going to move it over to Kevin. When it comes to artificial intelligence...
You mean machine learning?
Yes, sir. What are we, all of us collectively, missing when it comes to what it really is, what it really is not, and then, complicated question, how do we leverage it within our maintenance operations?
Okay, and I actually got a couple of good folks up here. I know Kevin's been in it for a while. I used to teach it in the 1990s, and then all of a sudden it was brand new. But it's exactly the same things we looked at in the actually as far back as 1954. But in any case, yeah, so what we see now primarily is a fair amount of hype, and that's unfortunate because it's a very powerful tool. It allows us to look at things changing over time in ways that we normally wouldn't by eye. It allows us to basically get a little bit of insight, but I always say so long as we understand what insights we are looking for in the first place. Because if you don't know the subject that you're interested in, you're going to be led astray very, very quickly. Because all it is a learning system in which it takes data that already exists and regurgitates it in some other form. Right? That could be looking at existing data and picking out points. It could be training a system so that you can question it, like the LLM, which, you know, I really love those because everybody thinks that they are intelligent and they're not. That kind of thing. So we heavily use it. We use it for software programming, we use it for research, we use it for other things in all different aspects, from our machine learning teams to doing in-depth studies on different types of faults, because if I need references, I can go through those references very, very quickly online by doing a search through an AI, but then you have to verify that those references actually exist. So that's from that standpoint. As far as anomaly detection, that's really where it's powerful, and most of the technologies in here use that, and that's to train a normal condition and then look for variations outside of it, and then whatever you do with that data after that. So that's a short answer.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So what do you got for us, Kev?
So this is the problem with following Howard. So they need to let me go first so that I can talk about the couple of little things that I know about AI, and then he can finish it with all the detail. I think, I think the biggest thing that I see about AI is the fact that it can consume so much data. And we as humans, we just can't consume that much data. And the faster we realize that we don't consume that much data, and that we do have tools that do consume a lot of data and can give us good analysis back, we'll move these tools much faster, right? I still see a lot of human fight going on between, I can still do that myself, and we have great tools that we can use that for. And I think the technology, to Howard's point too, is that it's been around a long time. This is just math, that's all it is, right? But it's very powerful math. But with all the extra tools that we build around, like chatbots and other things that we've now built, we can do lots of really interesting things with AI. The hype is out of control. It's one of the things that we work on, not always successful in our company, because it's easy to get excited about this. It's easy to say something that may or may not be fully true or fully vetted that we say out in the market. And so we all as vendors have to be careful that we don't release things too quickly, say things that aren't necessarily true. Because people today, now that they have the power of GPT in their hands and they understand AI at a much higher level today, they take that and they run with it. So I think from a vendor responsibility, I think that's one of the things that we've got to work on.
So one thing I would add to that, not that I'm an actual expert, but more of maybe a instigator when it comes to these topics, is one of the things I'm always talking about being at risk with AI is, shall I say machine learning, is if we lean on it too hard, it's the critical thinking that's at risk of going away. And the idea behind dumbing down what we are actually capable of. And I think we want to use these tools in a way that augments what we already know and not go quite that far. With that said, one of the concepts that I've learned about, thankful that I know these individuals that can help me understand this, is when we build these types of tools, we have this concept of drift. And with all technology, whether it's computerized maintenance management software, this AI or machine learning, all of your different technologies you're leveraging to create these great outcomes with the right inputs, you have this concept of drift, you have hallucinations, and that's where the risk comes into play. And that's why I wanted to kind of bring that up at the front end, because that's where you have to be mindful of the next stone you step on to cross the river of success. And I want to ask Kevin, what do you think about this concept of drift and the hallucinations that can come from this technology?
That's just a teaser of the CMMS Radio panel discussion from the stage at Mobius Connect Live in Houston, Texas. We'll have that full episode coming for you very soon. All right, we're on CMMS Radio. We are at Mobius Connect Live in Houston, Texas. This is the kickoff of the World Tour, and we are going to hear from Mobius Institute. So I'm going to have each of you just introduce yourself and tell us what you do, starting with Alexa.
So my name is Alexa Rodriguez. I am the Business Development and Events Manager for Mobius Institute. So I work with our North America and Australia partners and instructors. So we host teaching courses for engineers in condition monitoring and reliability.
All right. Now we're going to hear from Jenny.
Woohoo! Hi everybody, Jenny Smith. I'm Global Business Development Coordinator at Mobius Institute, and I work with our 200 plus training partners globally to get them ready to teach our courses, make sure they have everything they need, they're well equipped and ready to grow.
And what are each of your favorite things about this tour that's kicking off? We're going to start with you, Jenny.
Ooh, I think getting to put faces to emails. Honestly, I see so many emails come through and people's names, and then when I get to meet them in person, it's pretty awesome.
And now Alexa.
Well, she stole mine. I was going to say that's my favorite part of doing these events is getting to meet everyone and just seeing who I've been talking to all this time. So it's really nice to get to meet everyone, and yeah, it just adds more life to the events.
Cool. Well, congratulations on the kickoff, and we'll be talking to you again real soon. That was the Motor Dock booth at Mobius Connect Live. All right, we are here at SD Myers with Craig Sato, and we got the big old Jenga game. We're at Mobius Connect Live in Houston, Texas. This is where they're kicking off the Mobius tour. So, Craig, I just want to ask you real quick, what exactly do you do at SD Myers?
So we ensure the reliability of the transformers for the C&I world. Basically everything from pulling oil samples to then doing the diagnostics and analytics, and then assisting you with getting those issues taken care of to ensure the reliability of that asset and hopefully extend its life.
And who, when we talk about overall industry, should be talking to you when it comes to looking at this technology?
So if you own your transformer, you need to have a discussion with us, because if the utility owns it, then it's under their purvey. But if you're the owner of it, you need that asset to be reliable, and you need your entire fleet of transformers to be reliable.
Is there anything about that space that people just don't understand, or they make too many assumptions about?
Sometimes the assumption is it'll be fine. It's been fine for the past 10 years. So it's a little bit of apathy that is probably the largest hurdle or obstacle to get past. Those who've had a fault or a catastrophic failure are the ones that are wide awake as to what the possible outcomes could be from having a failure.
All right, well, I want to thank you for this soundbite, and I hope you have a great Mobius Connect Live here in Houston.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for being on CMMS Radio. That's the Baker Hughes booth. Here's the Noria booth. We're here at Mobius Connect Live in Houston. They're busy. I don't want to interrupt them, but want to get them on CMMS Radio. There's the KCF booth. Of course, we got to visit UE Systems. You ready to say hi, Alex? Hey, this is Alex here with UE Systems. We're at Mobius Connect Live in Houston. What's going on, Alex?
Oh, man, just excited to be here. It's a good event and a lot of cool vendors and everyone to meet, so excited.
What's your favorite thing about industry trends this year?
Oh, I think learn as much as possible, right? Seeing where innovation goes, seeing where the new direction is going to take us. There's always something new, you just don't know where it is.
And what would you say is your favorite thing about Mobius Connect and going on this tour?
I think the general connections with people and figuring out where they come from, because when we meet different customers, they all usually have the same problems, and how they get there is really the path. So I think finding that out is always the coolest part.
Yeah, well, your passion is well known. I talk to a lot of people in the industry, so it's real cool to catch this moment with you. And I'm going to see you at Reliable Plant in June. Is that not true?
Absolutely, can't wait. Yeah, we're doing it again, and we're going to be at the big show, and so we can't wait.
All right, man. Thank you for being on CMMS Radio.
Thank you.
All right, we are here at Mobius Connect Live in Houston, Texas. This is the kickoff of the Mobius Live tour. It's a world tour. It's international. And we are here with the motor doc himself, Howard Penrose. Howard, welcome to CMMS Radio.
Thank you very much.
So we had a nice little on stage this morning, and we got a little bit racy. And I want to see if you have anything else to add when it comes to the industry, the buzzwords, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What can you share with us?
Well, we had a limited amount of time, but I did squeeze in the cybersecurity aspect, thank goodness. But yeah, we're seeing in the field more and more. There's a lot of disappointment in the technologies and everything else because of a lot of hype. Versus if people were told how things really work, then they would have different expectations and we wouldn't run into the same thing. The other thing we did talk about was things like the application of the technologies and placements of sensors, which has been a serious issue. You can have the best software in the world, you can have the best devices, best sensors out there, but if they're not placed in the right area, you're just not going to get what you expect at all.
So what do you think is the driver behind the things that we see with the improper mounting and the lack of delivery on the outcomes that people think that they're buying?
Be perfectly honest, mostly investor-owned type systems where there's a push to be the cheapest, fastest, and lowest cost in order to get systems out there to look good for investors.
Now, you don't really play that game at all, and that's very intentional. I'd love for you to share, I know a little bit about it, but for everybody else, why is that so important to your brand and what you actually do?
Part of the reason I'm in where I am right now and not working for somebody else is basically because I didn't like the direction a lot of companies went. So in this case, I'm able to control that direction. If I bring an investor in, I lose that control. That's part of it. Second is, nobody actually knows how big Motor Doc is and what we're involved in. So we've done extremely well. So I am fully capable of being the investor. So I invest in my own stuff. I basically, by definition, have to find solutions for situations for existing customers. And then if I determine that is something that we can turn into a product and sell to other people as a solution, we just do it. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. That allows us to be far more flexible. Yeah, we don't have the marketing dollars really there as a result, but I'm not about marketing, I'm about solutions.
Yeah, and that's the best part. It's one of my favorite things about anybody that's rolling through this world and this industry that way. I'd like to close out with what can people expect moving forward with Motor Doc? Anything you can share that you've got coming or that you're working on, anything like that?
Yeah, we have a very unique, right now we already have continuous monitoring systems. We're working on a collaboration with one of our existing partners right now to take that the next step so that we end up with an extremely low cost, very, very, very accurate combined, I call it a hybrid AI. So it's an expert system with an AI layer on it.
And that's legit AI.
That's machine learning, yeah. So basically it's meant for finding the anomalies that a standard expert system won't find, so you've got both worlds in one.
Well, we look forward to more news from you in the future, and welcome to the kickoff of the Mobius Connect Live Tour.
Thank you very much. And by the way, I could mention that because I know most companies basically take a long time to try to get stuff to market. We're going to be launching in June.
Nice. Well, you heard it here on CMMS Radio first, folks. Thank you, Howard Penrose, Motor Doc.
Thank you very much.
Hey Greg, I'm Danielle Wethington. I am the VP of Sales here at Hansford Sensors, and I run our U.S. sales office located in Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice. What about you, Chris?
Hi Greg. The first thing is you're obviously very polite because you treat a lady different to a man. Anyway, I'm Chris Hansford. My name gives it away. I'm obviously Managing Director of Hansford Sensors Limited. We're proud to be here, despite all the issues that go on with the tariffs and everything. All our products are made in the UK, and let's hope we have a good event.
This is the Schaeffler booth. They're busy talking to people. Just want to show you a little bit of that.